Part two of our seven-part series, How to Boost Team Motivation and Engagement During Burnout. Thanks for joining me. And if you haven't yet watched part one, hop back and check that one out. So, I'm going to be giving you one principle in the power of acknowledgement with three easy steps. And today we're talking about the impact that engagement has, specifically when we're talking about building intimacy. Principle two in the power of acknowledgement is that acknowledgement builds intimacy. Now, before you get a little uncomfortable here, we're going to start with the folks you know, the folks at home, not necessarily in your place of work, but in your sphere of influence at home, where those relationships are, because those will carry over as you begin to practice acknowledgement and how it begins to build intimacy, not just at home, but at work. So this series is all about how you as the manager, as the people leader, as the project coordinator can step into some small actionable tools in your daily life to begin creating the power of acknowledgement as a habit in your daily life, particularly to target burnout for yourself and for those in your life. So, why am I looking at building intimacy and this element of the power of acknowledgement when I talk about engagement specifically? So, we know that between 450 and 500 billion dollars is what is costing us, right? That's the number that a decrease in employee engagement is costing the US economy and businesses. That's a huge chunk. But I think we got to get a little more granular and let's look at when we don't have engagement, when people don't feel like they are seen, heard, and understood, what happens? Well, 56%, that's a little over 5 out of 10 people leave their job because of their boss or manager. I think we've all had one of those experiences. And acknowledgement is our key to when we're talking about engagement. When we're talking about engagement, we're talking about the intimacy and the relationship that we build with people. Let's dive in. There's a couple more numbers I think are really important to know as people leaders that we're aware of. We hear a lot of these, but we don't always put them in the context that we need to. So if over 5 out of 10 people are leaving their job because of their boss or manager, 40%, so 4 out of 10 people are quitting their jobs due to burnout. And burnout can be attributed to not feeling like you belong, not feeling like you can show up as your authentic self, not experiencing joy and playfulness, right? We have those needs, right? We have those nourishment keys as humans. And number one is in emotional safety. So how do we begin to create spaces for emotional safety and psychological safety? Well, it's through intimacy, and intimacy, connection happens through the power of acknowledgement. And as we dive into principle two today with a few of these really easy steps, I want to talk about how do we define employee engagement because this varies widely across the internet. So, Quantum Workplace defines employee engagement as the strength of the mental and emotional connection employees feel toward their places of work. Solution, power of acknowledgement. Gallup defines this as engaged employees are those who are involved in, enthusiastic about, and committed to their work and workplace. Well, we have higher engagement rates when people feel like their manager understands them, is working with them. And the power of acknowledgement is a really incredible tool to begin addressing this particular area. Willis Towers Watson describes the employee engagement is when employees' willingness and ability to contribute to company's success. Well, I think we can agree. Those are some pretty good definitions. I think all of those together really kind of help us understand this. So, boiled down, engagement is the emotional commitment the employee has to the organization. The key word there, emotional commitment. Think about when someone acknowledges your strengths, your talents, your hard work, the effort or the extra effort that you put into something, or knowing that maybe you've been struggling lately, you're in burnout, and you're just being recognized and acknowledged for the things that you're doing in that difficult period. Boy, does that truly shift the tide when a manager or a coworker takes a moment to acknowledge what you're doing in the midst of maybe burnout and challenges. How is that creating intimacy and emotional connection? Well, let's talk about what are some three simple steps that you, as the people leader, the project coordinator, the manager, the boss, can start to practice this. Now, yesterday, I taught you in principle one where to apply this to people that you don't know, people that you run across in your everyday experience that are helping you. Today, we're going to bring it into the sphere of your family, your close friends, because each one of these principles that I'm sharing with you, I'm giving you a specific place to test and practice them because you're going to learn and experience and you're going to test this and you're going to bring it back to your team. And there you're going to start to impact your intimacy, your connection, your engagement rates, productivity, motivation, and you're going to help yourself and your team get out of burnout. So let's go to that step one. So, step one is to take a moment to think about what you value most in your spouse, your daughter, your colleague. Think about what you value most about a person in your life. That's step one. Step two, express your acknowledgement with sincerity and detail. Do not be vague. Don't say, oh, you make me so happy, or I really appreciate that you take so much time to really pack our lunches, right? Really give some detail. So here's an example. I truly appreciate that this evening my husband walked in and said, hey, do you want to go watch the sunset with me? Absolutely. And what I did was, after I did that, because he kind of broke up a concentrated work period for me, when we got back in the house, I stopped and I said, Josh, I want to acknowledge you. Thank you so much for taking a moment to realize that I have been at my desk for quite a while today. And you know how much I love the sunset and I love to watch it. And you saw it and you knew that I wouldn't want to miss how beautiful it was tonight. And you came and got me. And we stood out there together for a few minutes. And just that really meant a lot to me. That's as simple as it is. But be detailed, really express what that is. Here's step three, be open to the miracles that can unfold when you share your genuine feelings. It amazes me and it just sparks joy in my heart so often. I truly live every day to acknowledge other people in my life. And what I have found is that when I do that, it unlocks and opens up some amazing things. And what people will share with me in return when they share their genuine feelings about how maybe I have impacted their life. So, thanks for being here today. And if you'd like to know more about the power of acknowledgement, check out the book, The Power of Acknowledgement by Judy W. Umless, and she goes Judith W. Umless, but Judy. Check that book out. It is truly amazing. And if you are interested in learning more and maybe how you can bring the power of acknowledgement and these incredible principles and tools into your place of work to really boost engagement rates and so much more, especially during burnout, reach out. You can get in touch with me at energize at whittingtonwellbeing.com. And hey, if you're wondering about might be in burnout, I'm not sure. Maybe I don't know what degree of burnout I might be in. I'm pretty sure I'm in it. Go take the burnout quiz at Whittington Wellbeing. We look at 8 different areas of impact from burnout, and we really want to help you navigate your best life and your energy mastery because your passions and dreams are fueled by your fire. Let's light you up. Thanks so much for being here and tune in tomorrow for part 3.